Welcome to 28 Days and Beyond, where we're celebrating our history, our heritage, our culture, and our own authentic voice. And we have a great guest with us to the set. Welcome to the set, Michael Curry.
Thank you.
Michael
Glad
Curry,
to be here.
Give people a snapshot of who you are and what you do and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm Mike Curry. I'm an executive at a major investment management firm based here in Philadelphia. And in my spare time, I like to use my business background and my soccer background to make change in underserved areas of our community.
Where did you grow up at, Mike?
I actually grew up in Baltimore. Or so I
Baltimore.
say Baltimore.
Oh, they say Be-more. They say
Be-more, Baltimore. And so I can cook a really good crab cake.
Okay.
I got that mastered. But I went there. I went to the U.S. Naval Academy and the University of Baltimore, my educational background. At the University of Baltimore, we were national champions in soccer Division II.
Wow.
And so when I graduated, I used that as an opportunity to give back to the community. So when I had my suit and tie on as a business person during the day on the Beltway, I would change out of that and turn into coach. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the kids, fell in love with what it did for me and what I saw the potential for it to do for kids. So I, as a part-time coach, worked my way up through the ranks of U.S. Soccer. And back in 2011, I had the honor of getting called up to the U.S. men's national team. I'm a goalkeeping specialist, so I get to work with the Timmy Howards and the Bill Hamids. And occasionally I do work for U.S. Soccer. And then in my spare time outside of that environment, I'm chair of the Philadelphia Union Foundation, which is the Major League Soccer team here in Philly. And we do a lot of programs in the Chester area. I'm also on the University of Baltimore Foundation, where I actually have a scholarship in my name, and one of the qualifications is for underserved students and minorities. And I'm also on the board of the National Soccer Coaches Association of America Foundation. And one of the things I like to brag about there is whenever the World Convention comes to Philly, I'm the local organizing chair. So I've done that 6 times since 1995.
Wow.
And it's basically putting on a party for 12 to 14,000 soccer people for a week in downtown Philadelphia, and it's quite a lot of fun.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sitting here looking at you. You're a tall man, and you got some good feet because you play soccer. You have some good feet. And I know when you say you play soccer, that kind of shocks people, right? They automatically think that it's basketball or something of that sort, right?
It does, but see, I'm my sibling, my brother is he's about 6'8", 6'9".
Okay.
He was a basketball star. I had to find another way to make my claim to fame. But it's a really interesting story. I was also really big into baseball.
Okay.
And we would go do our chores as kids, go over to the field and play baseball. And back then, I feel kids miss a lot today because you got your chores done and all you had to do was be back by dinner time.
Yeah.
It was safe to do that. And so one day I'm listening, and there was these men of color with this really neat looking hair, and just running around and speaking English, but it was like different. I hadn't heard that before. Well, they were everything from Ghanaians to Jamaicans. It was a mix of Caribbean and African players who were playing in the field, and they were playing soccer, And I'm saying, what's this game you play with your feet? And so during the summer, I would just hang out with them and chase balls. And after a while, they said, do you want to step in and play? And of course, I wasn't very good, but I fell in love with just the fluidity of the game and the fact that everybody gets to be involved. You don't stand around and you don't have to have the ball to actually have an impact on the field. And I thought, what a wonderful way to teach kids that role as well. And so now fast forward to today, how do kids get involved and how do they work with each other and how do they understand each other? It's been such a gift for me, just all the cultural experiences I've had just through the game of soccer.
And it's interesting because now it seems like soccer to some degree is becoming more popular because with football and the concussions and things of that nature. And I understand that one of the things that's dear to you, some of the things you like to teach in communities of color, character development, healthy eating, healthy choices and things of that nature. Can you expound on that?
Oh, I'll be glad to. So I'm really proud. 2 months ago, we gave $25,000 to Philabundance to put the first nonprofit grocery store in the U.S. is in Chester. I would go as I'm soliciting for donors, which is one of the jobs you do as chair, and I'd have 2 Granny Smith apples, and I'd give you one, and I'd have one, and we sit there. And by the way, I had a little cooler, so I made sure they were polished and nice, crisp and cool. And then we bite into them, and I would actually say, if you remember that scene from Forrest Gump, where they went through all the recipes you could do with the shrimp. Now, I didn't quite go on that long, but I tried to talk to you about all the things you can do with a Granny Smith apple. And then I'd apologize to the potential donor and say, hey, I want to apologize. I'm setting you up. And they'll look at me and they'll look at the apple and go, is there something wrong with the apple? And I go, oh, no, I wouldn't dare do that. So the setup is kids don't have access to this in Chester. And they'll look at me and go, oh, no, they just go to the grocery store. And I say, that's the setup. And then I would explain to them the almost 3-hour journey it would take to get to fresh produce every day. And then I turn them and I say, here's what they do have access to, and it's all the unhealthy foods and all the unhealthy things that you find in areas that don't have a good grocery store. So this $25,000 grant was to put in 9 chillers for frozen foods, healthy frozen foods, and to open up space for produce. And so when you go to, it's called Fair and Square. It's a new concept from Phil Abundance. And we're really proud of it. It's a great place for people to shop and get really good foods. And we're about to put in a program that will help teach them how to cook without using all the fattening seasonings and the salt and all the things that are unhealthy for us. And we're really proud of this particular program. And it's one of the ways that we are using to solve problems. And I just want to talk about that for a moment. There are a lot of well-intended, well-minded foundations and programs working in our community. I think it really is time now for us to step back and just ask a couple of simple questions. How can we be more successful? Why are you and I doing the same thing? Oh, wait a minute. It takes this and this to do it well, and you're the best in the community of that. I'm the best in the community of this. Why can't we put our 2 resources or skills, ideas together and do it sort of in what we would call a best of breed, right? And so the Philadelphia Union Foundation, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come up with solutions to solve some of the recurring problems. So we talked about safe places to play. We have an experiment going on in Chester where we have about a $100,000 investment in a playground there. It just celebrated its 2nd birthday.
Wow.
Most playgrounds don't survive 2 years.
Wow.
No graffiti. We changed 2 bolts. And people ask me, well, how did you do it? We got the community involved. The fire department waters the grass. That's $75,000 of that investment. It's just the grass.
Wow.
Good grass is not cheap. And the school system cuts it. We have a couple neighbors that come out and inspect the swings and all the equipment, make sure whenever there's a problem. They call the union. Our stadium is a couple blocks away, and someone comes out from the maintenance crew and they take care of it. We just put in a mini pitch, which is a small-sided soccer right near Widener University. And I love going by there because you see kids and college students out there playing and just having a fun time in a safe environment. Again, an area that you probably wouldn't want to hang around before we put the mini pitch in. And again, it's getting the community involved.
How did you get the community to buy into that, Mike?
That's a great question. It's like anything else. You have to help people understand what is the value.
Yeah.
And so when we celebrate the 2nd birthday of the playground, we sponsored a picnic. So we bought out grills and everything. And it was, I had to kind of walk away because even now, you hear me getting emotional in my voice. I just remember the hugs. I remember parents. And when a mother looks you in the eye and say, I can bring my child here and play.
Wow.
We don't have to worry about the needles. We don't have to worry about gunshots. And see the joy and the gratification of something that really is so simple, but it has a huge impact. When we gave that $25,000 to Fair and Square, we had a lot of the kids there, and they had a lunch for them afterwards, and it was all healthy foods. And so there's a lot of connections with this healthy lifestyles, safe places to play, and then tying that to education. And a lot of people don't realize a lot of the real causes of truancy is you've got a child who hasn't slept, their stomach's growling, and you're asking them to sit in a seat for 6 hours and try to learn something. It's a simple solution, and I just do the math as a business person. If it costs $48,000 a year to incarcerate an African-American male in Philadelphia, I can do a lot more productive things with that $48,000 and have that person grow up and be a productive, contributing member of our society versus me putting that person behind bars. It really comes down to us making a social decision to do it.
Well, as we close, Mike, I want to is for people who want to give and for people who want to get in contact with you. Can you give them some information, the website, or some information how they can do that? Because I think that's critical.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to make it easy for them.
Okay.
It's time. If you want to give your time and volunteer,
Okay.
you can give your talent. There's a lot of gifted people out there that have great ideas. We would love to hear from you. And then if you can write a check, you can give your treasure. Right? So I get time, talent, and treasure, right? So that way you don't have to be intimidated. Well, I can't give money, but hey, if you can spend time with some of these kids in our Big Brothers, Big Sisters program, we'd love to have you. So just go out to the Philadelphia Union website, www.philadelphiaunion.com, and click on Community, and you'll find the foundation website. And there you can see our programs. There's an opportunity for you to give. We would love to have you come and visit and see what we're doing.
Hey, it is our honor to have this be our final episode of 28 Days and Beyond, and we really thank Michael Kirby for coming to the set. And we ask you to once again tune in as we continue to bring more good guests. As we stated, we are here to celebrate our history, our heritage, our culture, and our own authentic voice. And you have been a great audience, and we continue to thank for your support and tune into these shows that we have where we hear these distinctive voices. Thanks, and come back again.